Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry. Hold on. This is really scuffed. Okay. I should sound significantly better. I'm sorry, I did not set this up. I was busy fixing my room. Yes. Okay. Now I need a video capture right now. Why is it not working, guys? Can you come over and help me? I just finished setting up my entire thing and it's not working. Like, it's really not working right now. This is not the right webcam, guys. Oh, that's wrong. That's just not the right webcam. But for now, this is gonna have to do, okay? Because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Hit the screen. Thank you. Okay. I'm not gonna do the intro yet, so give me like a couple minutes. It's like I'm working on the body of a car. How much work I gotta do here. Sure. Jesus, if I keep getting texts, I'm gonna lose my mind. Sorry. Why is my Elgato not recognized? Why is my Elgato... I think I'm going to lose my mind. How long have I been doing this for and I can't figure out the webcam, bro? Why not? Why not? Trying to figure this out. If this is what we have to work with, this is what we have to work with, but I swear my Elgato was just working. Is it just not enabled? Camera. USB 3 required? Oh my god, dude. Why? Could have told me that. Hold on. Are you kidding me right now? I was just fixing my setup and it's not working. Okay, it's fixed. I fixed it. Holy, now I can actually start this again. Sorry. Oh, I gotta believe it. That's awesome. This is great, guys. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Six. That's 709. Okay. That's better. That's this. Make a video. I'm sorry, guys. I usually am so on top of this. Holy frick. Oh, 8 minutes of wasted time. Awesome. 3, 2, 1. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mitch, and welcome back to the Motchcast. This is episode 2 of however many we're going to put in a season. I don't even know how many that's going to be. I'm excited today because I just fixed all these problems I had in this room. I have a bunch of stuff on my bed right now, but I am moving, like everything's changed. The desk is facing this wall where the door is, and then I have the closet bed wall here. I'm excited. So anyway, let's just jump right into it because I do have some questions this time. Thank you for those of you who did send questions. I will shout you out if you put your name in, and that's not inappropriate. Let's find the sheet. I'm sorry, it's like been so long since I've done this. Not really, but I'm just not used to this. And I had to fix my webcam because it wasn't working. Oh, gee. putting a thing for my phone. Okay. Uh, from an old friend, Sophia. Just wondering how you've been. All I know now is that you exist. I can see you are doing well with the YouTube thing. Well, Sophia, I think I'm doing pretty good right now. I was stressing out trying to get this thing to work for my stream right now, but otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited with how this turned out in here. Um, I know that you exist as well. Thanks for leaving a question. And yes, I am doing pretty well with YouTube, for better or for worse. Next question from my friend Antonio. What will you do in the future if you have so much money career-wise? Um, in the future, I think I don't really know what I want to do as a job. I have a video on my second channel where I talk about what I'm going to do after secondary education is done, which is fly over to Europe and just backpack through there for 3 to 5 years and do nothing but explore and meet new people and learn about the cultures and find people there that also want to travel with me. It's going to be fun. But I got to do high school first and maybe college. Maybe get some basic degree in some very broad category, and then I can just get any job with that category, you know? But yeah, I don't really know what my career is going to be after that. I hope it's YouTube. I really hope so, but it's just a dream job, not an actual job. Oh, excuse me. Next question from Maria. What are your thoughts on Playboy Cardi, and what's your favorite song by Future? Um, I don't know a lot about Playboy Cardi, but I do know that they exist. I know they're a rapper. I know rappers. I just don't know a lot of their songs. I'm sure if one of their most popular songs was played, I would probably recognize it. But my favorite song by Future, I think I have it. I think it's called Mask Off. That's the one I know the most. I think I like that one the most. Um, what's your dream career, and do you think you'll achieve it? My dream career is to do this for a living, make YouTube videos and Twitch streams and podcasts, but chances are that's not going to work out. I had this dream to make a YouTube channel and become famous since I was 8 years old, and the more I do it, the more I realize it's okay if I'm not famous. It's okay if only a few thousand people or a few hundred people see my videos. That's okay. I'm okay with that now. But I would hope that this could be my career, making YouTube videos about whatever I want and meeting new people along the way. That's really what I want to do. I feel like I'm a very creative person, but only for specific things. So, yeah, I hope that YouTube can be my dream career. Next question. Do you think you'll stay in Pennsylvania or move after graduation? Oh, I'll definitely move after grad. Ooh, bringing a slapping back. If you don't know about that, occasionally explicit, my first podcast, I would slap myself when I wouldn't say something correctly. But it really hurts, so I probably won't do it again. Do you think you'll stay in Pennsylvania or move after graduation? I'll definitely move after graduation, unless the college I go to is in state, and then I'll stay in state. But yeah, I'd hope to leave Pennsylvania. The weather here sucks. The scenery's pretty cool. The rocky roads are pretty annoying. The terrain, it's a lot of tough stuff to deal with sometimes, but still a nice place to live. Better than like Oklahoma or something, you know? Next question. Favorite music artist? Oh, it's definitely between Eminem and I'd say Ambassadors, right? I mean, those are the two I listen to a lot. I also listen to E Double a lot. He passed away. Thoughts and prayers. I don't even know how to do the thing. Is it like this? Yeah. Um, I'm not religious, by the way. That's if you couldn't tell. But yeah, it would either be Eminem or maybe NF. I don't listen to NF a lot. Probably, let me see who I listen to the most right now. Like, what songs do I have a lot of from the same person? If I go to my one playlist, maybe Queen, maybe Caravan Palace. Caravan Palace might be a close contender, or Logic. Logic, maybe. Maybe Logic. We'll say Logic for now. He's pretty good. Do you run with your arms? Yes, I do. You always got to make sure you're running with your arms, but don't punch yourself in the face. You want to be like all the way back, kind of up. Unless you're a sprinter and then it's like all the way back and then take a phone call, but don't actually do your hands like that. Have your hand up here like you're about to take a phone call. That's how you want to run when you're sprinting. With distance, you want to be more mid-chest, but you want to make sure it's straight back and forth, not sideways, you know? That'll just take away from your speed. Am I facing sideways, speaking of which? Is this... Yeah, that's better. Okay. Next question. What is my name? From my boy Hendrix. My name is Mitchell Motch. I make YouTube videos, and yeah, my hair gets longer every day. I think everybody's does, but mine gets really long. It's gonna be down to all the way here, probably by next year, at least. What do you think of the Huzz? I don't think I am at will to answer this question because I looked up what the Huzz slang is, and I don't think I want to respond to that question. If you had all the time in the world to learn something important, what would it be? From Antonio. Antonio, that's a really good question. I think the one thing I'd want to learn is like something that I would spend my whole life doing and getting better at. It would probably be an instrument, like being able to play music, you know? Like I feel like that would be the number one. Number two would be like how to drift in a car, like how to drive like a race car. Yeah, there's a few good ones. A few good ones I could think of. If you had to choose a different way of life, what kind of life would you have? From Antonio. Thank you, Antonio. You're giving me some great questions today. Um, my life is pretty damn good, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I have any regrets. Someone calling me? Oh, my battery's 10%. Um, I think if I had to choose something different, it would be like maybe minimalism because I have so much stuff. As you can't see, you can see back here, I have so much stuff. And I like to think that I don't have a lot, but I really have a lot of stuff. So I'd probably try minimalism maybe. That's like the one thing I could maybe try. But then I wouldn't really be able to do YouTube because I wouldn't have like a phone or a microphone or a laptop. So maybe not, but that would be like the one thing I might choose. Um, this statement is false, blah, blah, blah. From Marcus, how much do you bench? I can bench press maybe because when I went to Planet Fitness, it was 25 for the bar. I think the most I can do is 75 or 80 pounds. I don't do a lot of bench press, but that's the most I could do before last time I was there, which was actually a week ago. So probably 80 pounds, I'd say. Definitely not my body weight, which I hope to be able to do at some point, but not yet. And that's all the questions that I received. If there are any people live who would like to send some questions in the chat, I would be appreciative of that. I realized that I did not add a chat box to show up on the screen when you guys send stuff. So let me do that real fast. And while I'm doing that, I'd like to talk about getting my wisdom teeth out because I think that that's a pretty interesting topic. But yeah, um, I am. What am I thinking? I'm thinking. I made a video about losing my wisdom teeth on the second channel, which I do a lot of stuff on now. It's just like my vlog channel, basically. And I'm gonna be honest, it was very painless, which you don't think of it. Like someone takes out your teeth. You would think it would be pretty painful, but the anesthesia and the pain meds and the antibiotics and steroids, they did all the work. So I'm barely feeling anything right now. I also think I've stopped swelling pretty much. So I think that that was a weird experience. Um, my parents were like super worried that I was gonna be in a lot of pain. I didn't feel anything. Like I woke up and made a video. That's how excited I was. My dad was like, "Oh, it was really painful for me, and I think it's. I hope you don't have too much pain." I didn't have any. I was just riding high, and I loved it. So I also got to eat ice cream too. That was good. Oh, I got to eat ice cream for a whole freaking 4 days. That was awesome. Um, yeah. Thank you. I just got a delivery. I just got a delivery. There's something in my floor keeping me from doing what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna turn on this other light and see how that works. Does that work? I could probably turn the exposure down a little bit, right? But yeah, I'm really excited about what the future holds for me. I don't really know what to expect, but I think that traveling, traveling is probably one of my most favorite things to do because there's just so much diversity, There's so much different about where you're going versus where you are. And it makes you more appreciative for where you are. If you go to this super fancy place and you're like, wow, a lot is happening here, and you go home and it's super quaint and quiet and you're peaceful. So that idea of traveling is it's sticking with me. I'm not going to give up on it. I hope that if I meet somebody during my high school education, I actually get to go with them or they'll go with me. Because I don't know. Like if I get a really strong romantic relationship in the next 2 years and then I leave, I don't know how I'm going to take that. I don't know how they're going to take that. I hope that that person who I might end up with is down to clown, down to travel. But if not, then I'll just have to say goodbye. That's a weird thing to think about, isn't it? Like if you meet somebody and then you want to do something that you're passionate about, but that might take you away from them. You have to weigh your values there, weigh your options, see which thing is more valuable to you. Yeah. Damn. Getting philosophical on this channel. I am gonna get my water bottle. Um, and then we're gonna drink some water because I'm excited to drink water. Stay hydrated. Hydration is key. So let's think here. What have I not talked about? Oh, I've been so close this whole time. Okay. What what's one thing I haven't talked about a whole lot on YouTube? Hmm. I'm very sensitive sometimes. Like I know a lot of people, their first impression of me is, oh, he's super smart, or oh, he's very antisocial, or oh, he's extroverted. Like there's a lot of different ways you can meet me, is what I'm trying to say. Like I could be in a very good mood, so I'm very out there, very jokey, very, class clownish, I guess. Or you could meet me and I'm like in a sad day or a quiet day and I'm just watching YouTube on my phone and not communicating with people. It's weird that dichotomy exists. Like I'm on my phone and I'm automatically not even socializing. It's weird. It's weird. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. But at the same time, I think if that didn't exist, I would be exhausted all the time. I would be so tired of communicating because I'm extroverted. You can see that in my videos. You can see that if you're a close friend of mine and I want to talk out loud, I'm loud, dude. But if I don't know you, like if you're in that middle between like I don't know you and we're good friends, like you're in that friend but not good friend stage, right? I get exhausted. Like it's a weird because you can be ambiverted, That's what I like to call it. You can be extroverted and introverted. Like I'm very introverted with people that I know, but I don't know them a whole lot, Like they're not acquaintances, but they're not my BFF. But then I'm very extroverted with people who I do know very well, and I know what they like, what they dislike, what they find funny, what they do for a living, or what they do for fun, and then I'm much more open with them. I feel like it's part of it's part of human nature because we just are very social creatures, but we're also sometimes very selfish or very self-aware. Maybe that's the right word because we're aware of our behavior, but we don't do anything about it. It's something that I've thought about a lot in the past couple of years. Like I've examined every decision I've made recently because I want to make sure that I'm doing right by everybody, doing the best I can. But I don't know. Is there ever a point that we'll ever reach where that won't be necessary anymore? Will you ever examine yourself so much that it actually takes you back? That's that's something I wonder about. Like, what if you're so focused on what you're doing and how you're being perceived and how you're behaving and reacting that you actually react negatively because of that overwhelming stress? It's strange. Like that's happened. That's happened to me. Like I was so focused on, oh, I'm gonna be respectful and kind and generous, and I'm gonna be extroverted and I'm gonna be, all these things, and then I fell short of them because I had these expectations of myself. And oftentimes I find myself struggling to make new friends because I want to be all those things. I want to give a good first impression, but then I don't know, I give off the wrong vibe. I don't know. It's strange. It's definitely a strange thing to happen. Um, but one thing that I find interesting is this word that I heard in like a word of the day calendar, and it's a word that isn't even recognizable in today's lexicon. Like I tried to type it in to text it to myself, and Siri couldn't even recognize the word. The word itself, which I'm going to make a video about at some point, is called confelicity. And it's defined as finding joy or entertainment in other people succeeding, which is less common than you'd think nowadays, which is why the word hasn't been used as much. Like, sometimes we get down on ourselves because other people do something better than us, or we don't feel good about ourselves because someone else won and we're like a sore loser, or we just wish or think we could have done more. When in reality, it's often more rewarding to just be happy for somebody. It's just like, to be like that is not really taught as much anymore. I feel like a lot of kids aren't growing up with that mindset. I think that the more competitive and the more aggressive social media and the internet become, the less those values hold through. But there's obviously still outliers. There's still people who are very confelicitous. Is that the word? I actually don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass today. I know confelicity is the word. Confelicitous. I don't even think it's a word. Confelicity. Pleasure in another person's happiness. Okay. So that's really it. That's it. That's all there is confelicity. I'm gonna make a new word, confelicitous. Confelicitous. That's what I think everybody should try to strive for. I think like people will be like, "Oh, who do you hate the most?" And I'm like, I don't hate anybody. I feel like hate is such a strong emotion, and oftentimes it can be intertwined with other emotions too. Like sometimes people hate their exes, they hate their ex best friend or their ex partner, and I'm like, but you really love them. You love them, and things didn't work out, and it's easier to be angry at them than it is to be sad that you lost them, you know? Like, I used to be so mad at my ex boyfriend, I guess it was, Rachel. Rachel was coming out as trans to me at the time, so I don't even know what they go by now, so I just use they, them, because that's neutral. But I was so angry at them because I was just so deprived of affection from them. And now I look back and I'm like, huh, that was silly. And I also think about the times when they showed up. They were at my house and we hung out. They met my family. They they were with me on New Year's Eve. So it's almost like being more confelicitous actually allows you to rewrite the emotions in your past negative memories in a positive way. So then, if you're angry at somebody, if you hate somebody, then you can end up loving them because of the context. And I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I feel like the less we hate, the more everybody gets along. I think that's a very self-evident statement, but it's true, and people don't always think about that. I mean, my past, my early days, of being a teenager and growing up, going through adolescence, it was very negative, overwhelmingly negative in a lot of times. But then I look back at all the times where I was happy for somebody. I was happy for someone being happy. And I wanted someone to be happy, so I stuck around. And then you kind of look back in a different way after that. Those of you who know me personally and know the stories I've told you, you know that there's been a lot of shit thrown around to me. And it's been super awesome to look back at it. But even with the context of why they did it, I think that I don't even have the same feeling about it. I don't even think I'm that mad anymore. Now, of course, I don't know what those people that spread all that shit about me back in the day are doing now, but I hope they're doing well. I want to be confelicitous for them because I'd rather be happy for them succeeding than angry because they're not, or angry because they're doing something wrong. Like, that's not my business, right? I don't know. Sometimes I think that social media and regular media are just so focused on making everybody upset, making everybody mad, that we lose sight of the context. We lose sight of the origination of the information. Like, I don't know. I feel like the more time we spend on the internet, the more disconnected we get. It's like we're all insanely online, you know? We're like extremely online, I think is the word that the commentary YouTubers use. It's tragic actually. We invented the internet all the way back in the 60s or 70s or 80s, whenever it was, and we envisioned it as this perfect utopia where everybody could communicate and spread true information that was validated by doctors and peers. And it's turned into this AI infested nightmare to navigate because we don't know how to talk to each other. And people still have the impression that if they say something online, they are protected if they're anonymous. And I don't know. It's just a weird way to be, right? Like, I feel like more than ever, it's important to be positive. And I don't think that we talk enough about it. I don't think we talk enough about the problems that are happening. And we don't really have a lot of solutions, but we also don't really want to find solutions, I think. That's the worst part because we could solve some of these problems like that, but because of our predisposition or of the greed of capitalism and corporatism, we often just would rather make more money or succeed instead of allowing for something to get better. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. Um, from my understanding, we're only 25 minutes in. Like we need to talk about something else. We need to see if anybody else had a question. We need to see if something else is happening on on the Googstom. Um, uh, I feel like when we first migrated to this country in the 1700s or the 1600s, and we took the land from the natives who were there, and we claimed it as our own, and we felt because God said so that we owned it. And then, like, all these people and all these very political people find it so hard to understand that immigrants aren't the problem. Like, we're so worried about people entering America, crossing the border, all this garbage. And then we forget that we were the first immigrants. We were the first people to move here and take the land. But we don't learn about that. Sure, we learn about how we got here and how we took the land and how it's ours now. But we never learned about the meaning behind all of it. It's always implied, and people don't always pick up on the implication. It's only recently that we're actually learning about the bad stuff that the US did because most of it was covered up. And we didn't want to think about it because we were fighting a bunch of other countries or we were dealing with economic crises. But now we can actually think, oh shit, we messed up. We did really bad things to a lot of people, and we haven't really done anything to fix it. And we claim this land that doesn't even belong to us. And we have the audacity to claim that we belong here. But if you try to get into this land across this border we made up, you're going to get shot or you're going to be put in prison. Like, why do we do that? Why do we feel entitled? Is it because we've lived here for so many generations, so many centuries? I don't think that's enough. Just because we claimed like squatters' rights doesn't mean that we own this land, right? I don't know. It's really strange when I see people get super freaked out about immigrants trying to come in and rape people and steal jobs. Like, no, that's not the problem. That value is just false because everybody's having the same level of rape and kidnapping and murder because we are selfish creatures and most of us are white. And we just brush it under the rug, you know? It's a complicated issue for sure because we don't have a solution. We haven't had a solution for centuries since we moved here, you know? I don't think that there is one, but we can compromise, we can adjust, we can do things differently. I hope that with the next couple generations that are on this planet, we can backtrack it to where we went wrong and try to do it differently. But for right now, I think we just have to keep living. We just have to keep living and loving and being caring and considerate because even if you are getting beat up verbally, socially, physically, and you feel like nobody cares about you, I don't think that's true. I think that there's more people in your life that care about you than you think. And I also think that you should treat people the way you want to be treated, even if they don't reciprocate. Because then at the end of the day, when you're treating your wounds, whatever context they may be, and you can say, it's not my fault. Because I was kind, I was considerate, I was generous, I was caring, and I put kindness first. I put it as a priority. And that's what I try to do. And I know sometimes I sound like an asshole, or I sound like I'm being condescending or patronizing, and I know when I'm doing it after I recognize it, but nobody's perfect. All we can do is just try our best, and if we don't succeed, then we try again. If at first you don't succeed, you try again until you get it right. Even if you think that after this many times you won't be able to do it, try the next one. I think that we can surprise ourselves more if we try to lead with kindness. And I know that the world is messed up right now, and I know that there's a lot of things that we don't have answers to. We don't know why things are happening. We don't have immediate solutions to a lot of problems that are plaguing the whole world. But I think despite that, we can still find a way to get along. I think that things need to change social media wise. That's the first step. I think we also need to work on our relations with other countries because we're really struggling with that right now. And I think that we can do better with our government and who we're letting lead the government and letting us, like, who we're letting lead the country. I think that we can do a lot better with that, if you know what I mean. But on an individual level, it may not seem like there's a lot for us to do, but even just doing this, making a podcast or a YouTube video or a blog post or a book or an article, you know, a research paper, like there's so much we can do to influence how this world works. It's not going to be instantaneous, like just scrolling up on TikTok and you have something to make you laugh and boost your dopamine. But if enough of us pitch in, I think that we can make a real difference. And I hope that we can make a real difference because I think that we need it. I think that we need something to change. And I think that the only people who are going to do it are us. It's not going to be the people who are already in office, who have all their money in oil and gas and big dairy and big protein, meat, red meat. Like, they're not going to do anything about it if we don't do something about it first. If they see that we're unhappy and we're also doing something that goes against what they're doing, they'll either shut us down or they'll finally move with it. I think that that's what matters right now. I think that we need to rock the boat of this country, of this world. And it just starts with an individual. So I don't have specific things because I'm not that knowledgeable around that subject, but signing petitions to reenact things like Roe v. Wade and trying to sway the opinion of the public in a positive way without using negative propaganda or comparing people to each other online. Like, I don't know, but I think that change is inevitable, but we can choose how fast it shows up. I think that's what matters, because if in the next 50 years nothing's changed and we just have a flawed system, a flawed world, I don't think it's going to be as easy. I don't think we're going to have the same readiness to fix it. I'm going to be very old. I'll be halfway out the door by then. I don't know how it's going to, I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't claim to know anything. I really don't think that I'm that smart. I might get good grades or know a couple things about YouTube or drawing or running, but that's why I find people who do, and I learn about them. I learn about the things that matter. So I think I'm trying to say that we can do more, and we should do more. Even if it isn't helpful to us, even if it takes time out of our day that's already busy, or if we just don't feel like doing it. I think that this world would benefit from more people who are open-minded and ready to make change that could actually do something. So, yeah, I hope if you listen to this podcast and you find what I say interesting, that you do something. Whether it's volunteer at a local food bank or just help somebody out who is feeling down in the middle of the day. I think that we need to stick together on some stuff. I think that no matter how far you are on one or the other side of whatever spectrum you're on, I think that we can find something that we all have in common. I know there has to be something, otherwise we're not human. So, yeah. I think that we can really change some stuff. We can really get the ball rolling on a lot of things. So, yeah, we just got to work on it. We got to know exactly what it is we got to do. My throat's getting dry. I hope you guys are drinking water when you see me drinking water. I thought that I was going to do Monday one week, and then Tuesday one week, and then Wednesday one week, and then Thursday, and then Friday for occasionally Motchcast for the Motchcast. But I tried to do it this Tuesday, and I was busy watching videos with my mom on YouTube, so I did not have time to do it. So I had to skip all that. We're just gonna go Friday to Friday because that's just so much easier for me. Yeah. I think about Sometimes I think about my first video, my first YouTube video I ever posted or ever streamed. And it's weird how far I've traveled from there. But I also think about, man, I haven't changed all that much, have I? I've just gotten a little taller, gotten a little more of a larynx, and maybe a couple more pimples and some longer hair. That's about it. And I've moved a few times. It's crazy that you look back and you think, oh, this is so cringe, or this is really nostalgic. But then you also think, man, I still kind of do that stuff. I still kind of have these through lines that connect me from there to here. I think it's fascinating that as time passes, sometimes things don't actually change all that much. I think that that's a lesson in, productivity or morality or memory, because I think that the more we learn, the more we change, but also the more we stay the same. And that sounds like a paradox, but I don't think that physically or mentally we change terribly within a 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 year lifespan. I think that we learn more. I think that we experience more things, but you look back and you still see yourself. You don't see another stranger, right? Like I look back to my first video and I'm like, that guy doesn't look like me, but that's me. You feel some deep connection to the past. Even if you don't think you have it, you still feel it, right? How does that even happen? How do we end up feeling such a strong emotional and mental connection to our past selves? There has to be something that stays the same besides your DNA, right? Or your heritage or your skin, which I guess does change a lot. But also a lot of stuff changes too. You might change what clothes you wear, or what size shoe you wear because your feet got bigger, or maybe you're taller, or maybe you have more hair or less hair, or maybe you get a deeper voice, or maybe you get a lighter voice. Who knows? Maybe you get stronger, or maybe you get weaker. I don't really know how it all works. I don't really know how the whole idea of your past self even exists. It's so rudimentary, but also so calculatory, I guess, at the same time, because we don't really know what happened before us. We hear stories, we hear history, but we don't really know what happened before we showed up, before you were born. You don't really know what happened, and you don't really know what's going to happen when you're gone. You can hope for something, but you'll never really know. I hope that there is an afterlife, and I hope that there is a place where we can watch the future unfold. And I hope that there are people from my past and my family heritage that are watching me right now and are proud of me. But also, sometimes you have to accept maybe there's nothing. Maybe we die and then consciousness ends. We never experience anything else, and change just goes on, and we don't really have anything. We're just a dent in the universe. Because if you really think about it, we have no proof that anything happens after you die. We really, really hope and cross our fingers that there's a heaven and maybe a hell. But we don't even know that to be true. We don't even know that that exists. For all we know, we're not really conscious. We just are. And then we die and we're not. We aren't. It's really strange to think about. Like, what would happen if eventually I passed away? Where would I go? My body would stay right there, but where would my soul go? Physically, I'm dead. But mentally, I'm all there, you know? So where would your mind go? Where would your consciousness go? If it is like the Matrix, where your body isn't really your body and we wake up again, I mean, that would be interesting for sure, but what happens if there's just a light that shuts off? How does that even work? What would that even feel like? You see your life fading away and your eyes just close? What happens after that? It's really existential, but what happens? Like, we don't know. And that's, I think, the scariest part. We like to justify a lot of things. We try to give meaning to things. But what if there's nothing? What if, when it's all said and done, nothing happens? That's a really, like, thought-provoking question that I didn't think I was going to ask myself today. But it's a real question. It's something we've been struggling with since the dawn of man, since Neanderthals and Homo sapiens existed. We haven't had an answer. It's like we don't know how the universe got made. So one day, if you're an atheist or agnostic like me, you think, okay, thought in the universe, all this stuff showed up. Earth went through all this evolution. We evolutionized, we evolved, right word, and became human. But why? We're often looking for a meaning. We're often looking for a definition of life and what it means to be alive and why we're alive and what we should strive for in a lifetime. And I've tried to answer it a couple times, and I don't think I have an answer. And I don't think there's meant to be an answer. I think the more we think about it, the less we actually see, the less we actually find out. And that's the scary part, is that we could spend our whole lives searching for a meaning and never find it. I think that's the weirdest thing, is that we could just end up wondering, why does that happen? Why does this happen? And never finding an answer. I'm starting to get real existential on the podcast, but I think we need to ask these questions, because if we don't, we'll never know, right? It's like, why is the sky blue? Why does the sun come out? Why does this apple fall when I drop it? I think that we ask these questions and we don't want answers, but we need them. I think that the more we avoid the answers, the less we'll ask questions. And I think we shouldn't be afraid of asking these questions. I think that we should be able to ask them in a safe space with people we trust and people that won't criticize us negatively for asking them. Because it's very strange to think that we think that we know so much about the world, but we really don't. We don't know if there's other life on other planets. We don't know how we got here. We don't even know why we're here. But even though we don't know, we still are. We still exist. Like, that's crazy. We're alive. We defined it. We defined being alive, living a life. And we do. We exist. There's nothing else to say, right? We exist and we think and we understand and we love and we hate and we observe and we hypothesize and we do all these beautiful things that no other creature on this planet really does to the same level. And we still don't know everything. You would think with hundreds of thousands of years of existence, we would really know something, but we don't. And that's crazy. That's really mind-boggling. And I think that if I were to define the meaning of life, which I have no business doing, I would say that to live is just to survive, to thrive, to strive for something that you enjoy, to live a life for yourself, but also for others, because we're all in this together and it's better with friends. And the more the merrier. And I think that we should do things that we're passionate about, but not neglect people who we care about. And we should think critically and question authority, but also be okay with hearing no. And we should make sure to be healthy and happy, but also be okay with being sad and angry and working through them, working through those emotions. There's so many things that being alive entails that, of course, we don't have a reason. We don't have a definition. We don't know what we're here for, and we don't know why. But we have ideas, and I think that's what's important. We don't have to understand everything, but even if we never get the meaning of life, even if some computer runs through an algorithm of generative thinking and we can't find an answer, I think we'll be okay with that. I think that despite all of the unknowns and all of the controversies and all of the misguidance and misinterpretation, we'll be okay in the end. And I think that's the best part. I think that knowing that even if we mess up so bad that we think we're going to lose it all, you never really will. Because you still have you and whoever you have around you. That's what counts. So, if you're watching this and you are taking anything from what I'm saying, just find somebody that you love and give them a hug. Show them that you care about them. Do something for them, whether it costs money or not, and show them that you notice when they do something for you. You notice when they ask you a question and they are concerned about your well-being. Because that's just the clearest we could be, is just to be for others. Just to exist, to be for others. Just to be altruistic, to be selfless. I think that that's what matters most, is finding people that you care about and helping them and showing them things they don't understand, or comforting them when they don't want your advice, or just being there for people. Yeah. I wish that I had the confidence to tell every person that I cared about how I felt. There's really one person in particular who I haven't told, and I won't disclose their name, but this podcast might actually give me the courage to talk to them. Yeah. So, it's roughly 10 minutes to an hour right now because of the 8 minutes we spent trying to fix this. Um, so I'm going to talk about YouTube now, just to give you a little break from all the philosophy that we went through. It's interesting that I've been doing this for so long, and I still make tiny mistakes. Like, I'll forget that my microphone isn't recording, or my video will stop filming, or I'll have an angle that's so bad and I can't zoom out to fix it. Like, I can't pinch it and just boom, Like, I can't readjust it without making it look worse, right? It's so funny that we think we're so capable, and then at the same time we're so nitwitted sometimes. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay to not be the best at everything. I think that being okay at a lot of things is better than being the best at one thing. I think that's just easier. I think that's just healthier, and I think that that's a more well-rounded way to be. We have roughly 30 seconds until the 151-minute mark, because this one's going to be a little shorter. I had less questions and a lot to say, which would make you think it would be longer, but it wasn't. We almost hit an hour. I'm kind of tired. I work tomorrow. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Occasionally Explicit. I'm sorry that it was so janky at the beginning, and I hope you'll subscribe to the Motchcast YouTube channel where I stream these live. And if you enjoyed, make sure to follow this on Spotify or Amazon Music or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, I will see every single one of you in the next episode of the Motchcast. Bye-bye!